Jaida Parker got next. I know that.
If you come at the king, you best not miss.
Acknowledge us.
Hey, it's the Red Carpet Rain featuring TBK the Turnbuckle King. We are here today. We're here to talk about the latest episode of NXT WWE NXT Results. The TNA star becomes new number one contender to TNA title. We are talking about that, and we also got bonus around here. We're going to talk about the early predictions of NXT No Mercy. That will be September 1st. Let's talk about it. We are here at the ring, and we're going to talk about the last episode of NXT. Of course, we'll talk about the show, match card, go over what happened on the show, give my review of the show, then what went wrong with NXT, and then definitely go into the bonus round. We're here live on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Let's get the likes as we come into the ring. Let's do that. Let's see. We're speaking of the ring. Let's see who came in before we get into it. Let's see who came in. We got Figure 4 TV. We got CeeLo. Salute to you guys. Appreciate you guys coming out. We're here to talk about NXT. And as we do get ready for NXT No Mercy, which will be the day after Bash in Berlin. It'll be the Sunday after that's Bash in Berlin, which is that Saturday. So we're going to have a busy weekend that week. And it is a week from Sunday. So let's get into that. But before we do, let's talk about the whole match card. Let's go over NXT match card, shall we? And let's see what was on the agenda for NXT. Let's check that out 1 second. Let's see what was on the match card. Now, as we see here, we had a triple threat for the number one contendership match. That will be a triple threat Wesley, P. Dunne, and Joe Hendry. Then we had a women's gauntlet match, a 6 women. Whoever won that will move on to face Roxanne Perez for the women's NXT title. 1-on-1 Lola Vice versus Wendy Choo. And then, of course, the Celebration Chase U winning the tag team championships last week. So let's get into that. Now, since we got that out of the way, let's see what happened on NXT. What kicked off the show? Now, what happened was we did have the celebration that did kick off the show. If you guys remember, we had the celebration here. NXT kicked off with Chase U celebrating a brand new tag team championship win. Now, we know the previous champions will come out, Nathan, Axiom, Frazier. Now, they came out and they wanted a rematch. They got a rematch. They want a rematch, but Duke Hudson spoke up, said, hey, you ain't about to get a rematch that easy. And they interrupted while Chase U was celebrating. Now, he said, Duke Hudson, right here beside Andre Chase, he told Nathan Axiom Frazier, if you want to get a rematch, you're going to have to go through himself and Riley Osborne, the guy beside Thea Hill, who never wrestles, by the way, but he wrestled that night. And despite a good effort by, Duke and Riley, Nathan and Axiom have won the match, and they are granted a rematch, and it will be NXT No Mercy. And they will try their best to regain the NXT Tag Team Championships. So they did win that. But this is the second time Chase U's won the belts. And I said this before, they did win. They did win, but they didn't hold on to it for long. It was, I think, 21 days, not even a month. Now, we know last time was Andre Chase and Duke Hudson holding the belts. Now it's Ridge Holland and Andre Chase. I got a feeling that Chase U's about to break up, and this happens every time in WWE. Yeah, a stable gets on your nerves. You can't stand them. As soon as you like to, as soon as you really get into it, WWE or NXT, whatever the case may be, they decide to pull one of these.
No, brother, doesn't work for me right now,
And then the stable is gone. So I got a feeling I'll get more into that with Chase U with the predictions. Stay tuned for that. That was the first match on the card. Then we'll go to the second match on the card of the night. We had Lola Vice versus Wendy Choo 1-on-1. Now the first match was good. I gotta tell you, that match was solid. Wendy Choo and Lola Vice was not bad either. Not a bad match. Not a bad match. These two, that's been going on because Wendy Choo attacked Lola Vice last week, and I think it was Tatum Paxley. She defeated Wendy Choo, and Lola Vice is aligned. She's cool with Tatum Paxley, or Paisley, whatever you say her name. You guys know what I mean. Now, anyway, they had a good match. This match. I'm not being honest. This match was not that good. It was a story afterwards. Now, it was so much story after them. After this match was over. Now, Wendy Choo, however, she did get the win on Lola. It was okay match. Like I said, it was all right. Wasn't the exact best match. It got interesting near the end of the match, and it got interesting when Kelani Jordan interfered. She came in and she won revenge against Wendy Choo for taking her belt last week and taunting her and attacking her. So she came in as Kelani Jordan was going to hit Wendy Choo. She ended up attacking Lola Lola attacked Kelani by accident as Lola Vice was going for Wendy Choo, and Wendy Choo got the event. She, saw that Lola Vice was distracted. She got the pinfall over her, and this is what happened. Now Kelani Jordan went and she had that little bag. She hit Wendy Choo, attacked her after a match, grabbed her title that was inside it, and this is going to set up a match. It's not official yet, but I'm more than likely going to have a match in NXT No Mercy. More than likely. That's how I see it right now. It's not been on the card yet. I haven't seen anything. I checked social media and everything. I haven't seen nothing where Kelani Jordan will be defending the Women's NXT North American Championship against Wendy Choo, but we could tell that's where it's going. But if they don't fight at No Mercy, maybe it's next week on NXT. So it's definitely not there just yet. But we'll see. We know that there's a story there between Kelani Jordan and Wendy Choo. No story there, so we gonna keep an eye out for that one. Definitely keep an eye out for that one. Now we will get into later. But other than that, though, I see the story going somewhere. I don't know I don't know how good it's gonna be, but it's getting there. Kelani Jordan is showing a lot more intensity out of her, a lot more fire out of her. And I see it definitely doing something. So we gotta keep that in mind. But Lola Vice, Wendy Choo, start off slow, but it picked up later. Hassan Terrell, salute to you. But yeah, definitely that. But Lola Vice, Wendy Choo, that is going to it started off slow, but it got a little bit better as time went along. Definitely went better as time went along. I didn't expect to get like that, but it did. Definitely did. Other than that, though, Kelani Jordan, she came in. This, like I said, the most fire I ever seen out of her, and she was not playing around at all, for that matter. She wasn't going for any kind of nonsense, none whatsoever. So we'll see what the whole ordeal is going to be with. The whole deal is going to be with Kelani Jordan in his women's NXT title, because we do need her to have some fire out of her. We do need her to just bring it And I think that's exactly what she's going to do. But other than that, though, I see good things, very good things happening for Kelani Jordan as she's going to defend this title. So do not sleep on her. I know people say Kelani Jordan's boring. I know they're saying she don't do nothing, but expect something out of her because it's pretty much stemmed from this match right here. That's where it's all coming from. So we're gonna see what the next move going to be for Kelani and everything else for that matter. We'll see where the next move goes. But you guys, I don't know. We got two matches in already, and we got some story building right there. Remember, I talked about AEW doesn't build story, NXT does. I've always mentioned that too. So let's not forget about that. But other than that, it's I'm just trying to see when this match gonna be. I know it's coming though. I definitely see something coming. Something's definitely brewing here. I don't know how it's gonna be, how they're gonna brew it, but these two, Kalani and they're never gonna have a match there. Other than that, though, guys, that was that match that they had. And Lola Vice, she also another thing I want to notice, she Lola Vice is not wear trunks anymore. She wear tights now. It's because she's a brand new babyface character that she doesn't wear the shorts no more, and she don't be she don't twerk she don't be twerking like she used to either. You guys notice that they're really changing her babyface character. So that's something different. We're not used to seeing Lola Vice in that character. Definitely something different. But other than that, though, we I want to see what's gonna happen to this brand new character of Lola Vice, excuse me. But yeah, I want to see what the brand new character is going to do for her. I want to see how this is going to stem up. They're definitely trying to switch gears with her as well. So that's something we have to keep in mind with Lola Vice and what they're going to do and how they're going to do it because execution is the key. I said that time and time again. It's all about execution. It's all about doing things correctly at the right place and at the right time. Because if you don't do that, you pretty much have nothing. Okay, how you slice it, that's what it comes down to. But that is the end of that one, and we'll get into more in a second. Now, speaking of which, we had here as well. We had a number one contendership gauntlet match, and we had this match of these six women here. It was originally Jaida Parker versus Karmen Petrovic versus Carly Bright, Adriana Rizzo, Ruca, and Wren Sinclair. But before the match started, this was really, that's how I said it really focused on the women. Before this could even go, we know they show everybody from the beginning. Now, as everyone was coming in, as everyone was getting ready, we see Izzy Dame attacks Karmen. She attacks Karmen Petrovic as she's coming in, as everyone's getting ready, and ends up being that Karmen could not compete. And Karmen will not be in the gauntlet match. Instead, she was replaced by, I believe it was Riley Reese. Riley Reese ended up replacing Karmen. And it's going to be setting up a match between Izzy Dame and Karmen Petrovic. That's where it's going. But other than that, they still continue on with the gauntlet match. This was a solid match, guys. A very solid match. This No One Gauntlet match was solid. Now, the way this started, Ruca kicked off the match. It was Ruca, and I want to say it was either Brian Reese. I think it was Ruca and Wren Sinclair. So they both start off the match. Then Adriana Rizzo came in. She came in, but the first she was a Adriana Rizzo. She's the family. She got eliminated first by Wren Sinclair. So after she was gone, then later on we had, I want to say who came in after that. Riley Reese came in. Then Kendal Gray, and last was Jaida Parker. But it was a quick elimination. Jaida Parker eliminated Kendal Gray with a corner hip slam and a board buster. So Ruca did a great soul snatcher on Wren Sinclair to eliminate her. So that was good because we had Brian. It was the first, like I said, Rizzo was gone. Then Reese was gone. Kendal Gray eliminated Briley Reese. Then Gray was gone. Then Wren Sinclair was gone. Then it came down to Jaida Parker and So Ruca. Now, at one point in the match, I thought So Ruca was going to get the win. I really thought So Ruca had a shot because she opened up this gauntlet match. But Jaida Parker, I knew with the momentum going in for her. If you guys remember the last episode of NXT, Roxanne kept saying, I don't have a challenger. And Jaida walked past and said, I got next. So I knew when she said that to Roxanne a couple weeks ago, I said Jaida going to be next one in line to challenge Roxanne. Remember, I said this a while back with Jaida Parker. If you guys remember, when Jaida was feuding with Michian, I said that they are setting up Jaida after the whole Lola Vice was done. I said Jada's going to end up competing for the Women's NXT Championship, just like I said with Lola Vice. Now, when I saw it came down to So Ruca and Jaida, So Ruca just didn't have enough gas left in the tank. And next thing I know that she took advantage. She had the most energy. And she got the pinfall on So Ruca. And that was it. But very solid match. Very solid match. Now, I like the performances of Jaida Parker, So Ruca, and we could say a little bit of Wren Sinclair. Riley Reese and Kendal Gray, not so much, but it was pretty much So Ruca and Jaida that held it down for the most part. Wren Sinclair a little bit. Mostly those two, but the other girls, you could tell they're a little green. But still was a good matchup story, and next thing we know, we saw as many predicted, Jaida Parker hand was raised, and she is going to win and go and move on and challenge Roxanne because Roxanne needs a new challenger. We're still waiting on the whole Stephanie Bakir and Julia. Julia, however you say her name. They're still waiting on Julia and Stephanie. They're still waiting on those two. But Jaida won the gauntlet. Jaida will challenge Roxanne, and it's going to be at No Mercy. And she has some interesting things to say about Roxanne, and she talks about how much you can tell she has so much momentum going in that this is where they're headed. If you guys remember, this is right after the match, actually.
To that title, Jaida Parker got next. I know that.
So you got her for the win, and it's actually a great choice. So with that being said, I got one word for that, and one word only for that. Yeet. So Jaida Parker wins. She will go on to face Roxanne. Not surprising, but we're gonna see what happens next with this match, and I'll talk more about this with the NXT No Mercy predictions. We'll talk more about that as well. But that was a big match, and you can see Roxanne was watching backstage, and we had another match. This was a useless match, another useless match in my opinion. Now they had it was the OC or They don't even call him the OC on here. They call him Lou Gallows and Anderson. Gallows and Anderson went against one-on-one against Hank Walker and Tank Ledger, the goofy dudes that hosted the NXT Great American Bash. Anderson and Gallows lost. Go figure. This match really didn't do nothing for me. I mean, me honestly didn't do nothing, but that's my opinion. But we'll move on with the rest of the show. Obafemi, he interrupted a no quarter catch crew. Charlie Dempsey was celebrating he won last week. He regained the whole NXT Heritage Cup from Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo interrupted them as well. He does not want. We thought that Tony D'Angelo, and I spoke this as well. We thought Tony D'Angelo was going to challenge Charlie Dempsey to regain the NXT Heritage Cup, but in fact, he came out for Obafemi. He's going to be next challenger for the NXT North American Championship. Obafemi tried to attack Tony D, but Tony D put him on his back. He literally put him on his back, and it made Tony D look strong. He gave him that work.
You about to get that work, son.
So he gave him that work, and Tony D stood strong. He stood tall over Obafemi. They're going to have a feud now. And I said that too. Remember, in the past couple weeks, we had both of these guys interrupting each other. You had Tony D interrupting Obafemi as he's going to do a segment, and vice versa. Tony D also interrupting Obafemi during his segment. So we knew these two were going to cross paths at some given point. We knew that's what it was going to come down to. Whether it comes to the better or worse, it doesn't even matter. So we had that going on in another part of the show. Another part we had was Ashanti the Adonis versus Dion Lennox. Another worthless, useless match. Did not like this match too much. I didn't. But they had a match anyway. Why? I don't know. I still don't get it. But I kind of do get it because I guess they got to put Ashanti on TV. They got to do something with him. But it's clearly obvious nothing's going to happen. This was a bathroom break type of match, to be honest with you. Ashanti got the win over Dion. Is it something we're going to be talking about in NXT history? No, we're not. But other than that, though, guys, that was another part of the match of the show. Now, I think we went through most stuff in the show. I think we went through mostly anything. Now, don't get me wrong. We had some good segments with the No Catch Quarter crew and Obafemi and the whole Tony D. We had some good segments there. That was a good segment. We had but the tag team of Gallows and Anderson, the OC, and then it's Ashanti. No. Then we get to the best part of the night. Now we got ourselves the number one contendership match, which is the match that everybody wants to see. We got Wesley, we got Pete Dunne, and we got TNA's Joe Hendry. We got those three battling it out. Whoever wins this match tonight in the triple threat will move on to face either Paige, the NXT champion, at No Mercy for his NXT championship. That's right. Get the like button, come in. Since we're on vertical, you could double tap the screen for the like button. Double tap that screen. So let's get into that. Now, these three, they worked very well together. This was a very good match. I like this match. Very, very good match. Actually, the best match of the night. Is that surprising? No. Look at the talent you got there. You got the talent of Wesley, Pete Dunne, and Joe Hendry, all three good competitors. And we never seen these three in the triple threat before. There was good parts in the match where Pete Dunne was getting a lot of advantage. I like the part where Joe Hendry he used Wesley as a weapon while he was holding by his legs. He knocked Pete Dunne into a low blow, and he took Pete Dunne down and Wesley down. So that right there was a good segment right there of the match. Very good part of the match, and it definitely set things up. So I like that right there. And that part right there was a good spot, and it deserves a one word to reply to that. We already know what it is.
Yeet.
That's right, yeet. Very good part of the match. I liked how these guys did their thing on that part. But other than that, this was very, very good back and forth. The ending was good too. But before we got to later in the match, these guys really, really putting the work for each other. And he had Ethan Page over there commentary doing what he does best, run his mouth. Come on, that's what Ethan Page does. So, but other than that, though, this was very good. And Ethan Page, you could tell he was so tired of Joe Hendry. He really did not want to deal with Joe Hendry trying to win. So what he did was, anytime it was a time where Joe Hendry got about to get a pinfall, I believe it was on Pete Dunne. And Pete Dunne, he had hit the move on him. We saw that he grabbed the ref and he distracted it. And then he tried it again. He still had a distracted. Joe Hendry had another move. Next thing you know, Trick Williams came out and he hit Pete Dunne. As Pete Dunne was going to get the pinfall on Joe Hendry, and Trick Williams grabbed another ref to count it. As Wesley was taken out, he was now on the announce table. Wesley was done. 1, 2, 3. Joe Hendry wins the match, and he will face Ethan Page for the NXT Championship at NXT No Mercy. So this was interesting to see. Very, very interesting to see. I was like, wow. He got him. He got him. Ethan Page, you're going to have to face against Joe Hendry. And I know Ethan Page was not happy about that. Also, not only was Pete Dunne attacked by Pete Dunne was attacked by Trick Williams. Continuing on with their rivalry, we saw that Zachary Wentz from the Rascals came in and attacked Wesley. You know, remember when he turned on the Rascals 2 weeks ago? So the obvious winner was Joe Hendry, and that's the match we're going to get. But that was the end of NXT for August 20th. Very end of that, but we're going to let's go to the rating, shall we? So we'll get to the rating in a second. Let's get into that rating. Also, we also go over next week's matches. Before we do that, you know, there were matches they announced next week, as well as NXT No Mercy matches. And we'll see what happens here. And also, let's go over a couple more things, actually. Let's go over a couple things. We'll go over that. But this match here was solid. I want to talk this match a little bit more. This was a solid match. This was a very solid match. I liked where this is going with this match. I like what they was doing. It was very good work by all three competitors. I know they was trying their best to put on an amazing show, and it showed that they did. So kudos to Wesley, kudos to Pete Dunne, kudos to Joe Hendry. These guys all put out a great effort. I will give them that. Much credit to them. They definitely put their work in. So definitely much credit to them. So let's give them credit for that. Now, this match was an easy 5 out of 5 for the match, if I didn't say it already. But let's go over a couple more things before we get into the rating. Let's go over that real quick before we get into the rating. Let's go over that real quick. Now, I'll go over that right now, actually. Now, one thing I do want to go over besides that, this being a very good match. Let's see. 1 second. One thing I'll go over before the next week matches. If you guys remember, there was one segment in the show, and I didn't. It's a new stable. They got a new stable. I just want to announce it, and it's pretty much the old entitled ones. We got a new stable called Fatal Influence, and this is the stable pretty much of the old people who claim they're entitled. I said this on X. The old entitled ones, they thought because they've been here longer, they automatically deserve a title shot. And that is JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Jasmine Nix. Now they cut a good segment here saying we're wrestlers. We work together on the independent scene. We've been here since day one, and we've been doing this. We've been doing this for years and years. Then you got the athletes, the D1 athletes, people like Kelani Jordan, people like Last Legend, Jakari Jackson, who are athletes, and they get a push in the line because they're an athlete. So that rub people the wrong way. And I can tell that's where they're going to go with this particular stable. Pretty much like another Pure Future Collective, another Damage Control. It's just so similar to that. But it's a new stable, so I just want to mention that. I don't know what to think of stable. I think we've seen it so many times on the main roster. I guess they need to make an NXT version, but go figure. Go figure that's what they're going to do. But other than that, though, we're going to see what else happens next on NXT. But this stable is whatever. It's a whatever at this point. But let's go over next week's matches before we get into the rating. And, of course, what we're wrong with NXT. Next week's matches here, we have a six tag team match of we have the family of Adriana, Rizzo, Stacks. You have those three. I forgot the other dude's name. And you have the No Catch Quarter Crew, Charlie Dempsey, Wren Sinclair. And I don't know his name either. But they will have a match. Tag team match, new stable, JC Jane and Fallon Henley of the Fatal Influence versus Jakar Jackson and Last Legend of Metaphor. And, of course, the attack I mentioned earlier. Remember, Izzy Dame attacked Karmen, caused her not to enter the Gauntlet match. She had to be replaced by Brian Lee Reese. So they're going to have a one-on-one match to settle that issue. So those are the three matches that are set up for next week on NXT. So I don't know, you guys, let me know what you think of the matches set for next week. Do you guys rate those matches? Do you think it's bland or whatever the case may be? Now let's go over the rating for NXT for the August 20th episode. Now, due to the cards here, I told you everything mostly happened on the show. I give it a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 is solid. It's not bad. It's a good show. Remember, we are heading into NXT No Mercy. It will be the day after Bash in Berlin, a week from Sunday. So we're getting real close to that. Real close to that. So we're gonna see what the case what's gonna be for them shows. We're gonna see how they're gonna move forward with that. We do have pretty much one last show before we get into NXT No Mercy. This will be the last show pretty much before it goes in. But at least they had some good stories set up. We see that happening. Very well thought out by WWE NXT, Shawn Michaels, and the rest of the people. But this was a solid show. Not bad at all. Not bad. It's being better in a couple weeks. Now, if you tune in tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, I'm sorry. Thursday. It is tomorrow. Excuse me. I'll go over the NXT versus AEW viewership comparison. We're going to see how NXT did viewership-wise and also Dynamite. We're going to see how it did otherwise because I stated for the past couple weeks their ratings had dwindled due to the Olympics, and then they start to rise back up. And remember, NXT was on the whole Sci-Fi Network due to the Olympics. Now they're back on USA. They did well last week. Check that out. I did a live on that. We're going to see how the viewership numbers did exactly. We're going to see if they got back to where it was. I think that was in the 600,000 range. And I think it's going to continue to rise because NXT, we know that NXT No Mercy's coming up. Halloween Havoc's coming up. And also, we know that NXT is moving to CW October 1st. They will be leaving USA Network. So these are going to be the last several weeks that we're going to, well, another month and a half. We got another month or so and a few more weeks after that until NXT moves to a new network. It'll be its first time ever on CW. The first two shows will be in Chicago on the 1st, and the following week on St. Louis the 8th. CM Punk will be on the Chicago edition show, and then Randy Orton will be on the St. Louis edition show. So NXT got a lot of good stuff lined up for that brand. A lot of good stuff headed for the brand. Very proud of NXT where it's moving. It's definitely moving in the right direction, So I'm very happy for that. I'm just only time will tell what else they're going to do next. And it's not what they can do, it's what they cannot do because they've been doing so much. They do not plan on stopping. So we're going to definitely see what the next move is going to be. But this is definitely going to be interesting to see what happens next on the NXT brand. But with that being said, let's move on to the what went wrong with NXT. Now, despite the good rating, always go over what went wrong with NXT. What's a few things I've noticed? What's a few things I've seen? So we're going to talk about that now. What happened? What was the problem? What did I notice on the show? And I may even add more stuff. But let's get into that right now. First thing I mentioned, Ashanti working on NXT. It's not working. Now I know he won tonight against what's his name? Dion Lennox. But I think he may be releasing. This is not doing nothing for him. He's clearly just on NXT to keep his job. He's if he's not in the match, which we rarely see him do, he's either backstage hitting on women, always trying to holler at somebody. He really come off as a thirst bucket character, and he has not been the same since Hit Row broke up. We know Hit Row was originally B-Fab. What's the bald-headed light-skinned dude's name? He's on TNA. Swerve and then him. He just has not been the same. Let's be honest. He hasn't been the same. Dawson has been the same. Same with Cedric Alexander. I kind of mentioned him. But now I'm going in on Shanti. Shanti's not doing nothing. He's not really bringing no value to NXT. Unless he really put over somebody big that could be the future of the roster. I'm going to see him being future endeavored at some given point. Sorry to say that, but that's the way I see it. I don't see no big issue. I don't see no big deal of him having him here. He actually was on NXT, then went to Hit Row main roster. And I think he was released along with Swerve and the rest of the crew. He was brought back, but he was on SmackDown thing. He just hasn't done anything. And I think the next step for him is going to be being released. So with that being said, I don't like where this is going, and it goes, and it makes the list anyway. It has to go to the list.
What's going to happen? No. Words? No. You just made the list.
So I don't like this with Shanti. It's not doing nothing. Let's go over the next part of what went wrong with NXT. Pete Dunne. Now we had Pete Dunne here. We just saw him last night on Raw. We just saw him face off against Sheamus. We see that going on with him. Now he had a one-on-one match. Where's he at? He lost, and he put Sheamus over, and he lost this match too. So it's proof he just here to put people over. I don't see what's the big purpose of him being here. And I already spoke on Pete Dunne. Why is he on two shows? Now we see it makes sense. You're here to put two people over. So go figure. That's what they're doing with them. But let's get to the next part of the show. Next part, I saw what was wrong. The OC, Anderson, and Gallows, just like Pete Dunne, they're here to put people over. Why are they on NXT? They were AJ Styles, they were on SmackDown. Now they just not doing anything. So, and I just don't see. I hope they don't get released because I like Karl Anderson and Gallows. I don't think they will. But let's go over one more part of the show. I think this is really bothering me as well. I don't get this whole thing. This whole Robert Stone, Stevie Turner assistant GM thing is really nerve wracking. It's getting on my nerves here. You do not need two assistant, not one, but especially two assistant GMs on the smallest brand of all Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and you got two of them. I don't know, unless they're going to have some type of love story here. You don't need both of them. Do an angle where it just be one. And I think Robert Stone has nothing to do since he lost Von Wagner. This angle is really ridiculous, and it definitely goes on the list alongside the other two things I just mentioned.
What's going to happen? No. Words? No. You just made the list.
So, yeah, don't like that at all. But other than that, though, we're going to end it here. NXT results. TNA star becomes number one contender. We're going to shift over. We're going to go to the bonus round here. We're going to talk about NXT No Mercy. Let's get to that in a second. Let's go over that right now. And we're going to see, we're going to go over that. We'll end things here on Ashley, Facebook, and X. Come over to Red Carpet Ring, and we will talk about that in a second. Let's get that going. Let's get the likes up. All right. We'll stay on Facebook a little bit longer. We're going with NXT No Mercy early predictions. Now, there's only 4 matches on the card that are announced as of right now. Let's go over to see which matches, per se, is going to, who do I have winning each match? What do they have set up? No particular order. So let's start from the beginning. We got Oba Femi defending NXT North American Championship against Tony D'Angelo. And we're going to see who's going to win what. I have Oba Femi retain this title. Now, Tony D'Angelo, he looked good in some matches. He really impressed me since, remember, he did challenge for the NXT Championship back at Stand Deliver. He had a great run, with tag team belts with Stacks. He even held the Heritage Cup. Now, will he be the one to beat Oba Femi, the most dominant NXT North American champion ever? I don't see that happening right now. So, with that being said, Oba Femi will retain. He will still be an NXT North American champion. But this is a good rivalry, and this could be an underrated match. It could be one of the top matches of the night for all we know. Could very well be. But let's get into the next match. We have the NXT Tag Team Championship match. The newly won titles by Chase U of Andre Chase and Rich Holland. They're going to defend against the previous champions of Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Now, this is going to be kind of tricky here. I sense that maybe, just maybe, that Chase U may have a breakup. I feel like there's going to be some tension there. And I always feel like that with them because it's something going on, and I feel like Duke Hustle is going to flip on Andre Chase, or Ridge may flip, or Duke Hustle may cost Chase U the Tag Team Championship. That's right, he is a con man. With that being said, do not be surprised, and I mean do not be surprised, if once this match is over, that we see Nathan and Axiom Frazier regain the NXT Tag Team Championships. I know I talked about how they had tension between them. They both were trying to go out for the Speed Championship. Nathan at one part, accident one part. They both were trying to go for the Speed Championship, but at separate times. They are still a great cohesive unit, and that cohesive unit and the history will help to regain the tag team championships as long as alongside Chase U having real tension there. So they will win and they will get those titles back from Chase U, and Chase U will slowly dissolve right after losing his belt. So keep an eye out for that. I see it going down that way. With that being said, let's get into the championship matches for the NXT Championship, men and women's. Let's start off with the women's NXT Championship. We got Roxanne Perez, who will be defending her championship against Jaida Parker, who won the Gauntlet match on NXT. Jaida Parker had a lot of momentum going in. She said she got next. She teased for the past couple of weeks. We know Roxanne's been on a great run as women's NXT champion. She is not going down for anybody. She has taken down a lot of people. She defeated Lyra Valkyria for the title. She's taken down Natalia, Lola Vice. You know, she's taken down Thea Hill recently at Great American Bash. And I hate to say, as much as I like Jaida, it will be the same fate with Jaida. I will see Jaida Parker not defeating Roxanne. Roxanne still got to wait for Gulia and Stephanie Valkyrie. And Roxanne already expressed that she is not going to play around with Jaida. She is going to do whatever she can to retain the championship. Do not sleep on Roxanne. Roxanne is on the best run of her career. I don't see her losing anytime soon. I just don't see it in Roxanne. Roxanne is solid, great champion. She's going to be the one that people are going to say, they already saying she's pretty much one of the best women's NXT champions ever of all time. She's up there with the Asukas, the Baileys, the Charlotte Flairs. They already got her up there. Rhea Ripley, they got her up there. She did make Pro Wrestling Illustrated for the women's edition. So do not sleep on Roxanne. She's pretty much is doing a great run. This is her second time with the championship. She is making waves. She's making serious noise with this title, and she's letting people know that this is her time. And anybody that comes for her crown, they are going to get shut down.
So she doesn't got next, but what she does gotta do is prepare to get roxed.
So I expect Roxanne to retain her title against Jaida Parker. Last but not least, this is an early prediction right now. We have Joe Hendry challenging All Ego, Ethan Page, for his NXT championship. Despite, Joe Hendry, the popularity, him getting over, him having a crowd behind him, winning a great triple threat match against Wesley and P. Dunne, and he got a win over Joe Coffey at NXT Great American Bash week 2. Definitely good, looking good, and this has been the most we've seen a TNA superstar on NXT TV. He has more momentum than anybody I've seen from TNA, more than even Jordan Grace when she was faced off against Roxanne for her women's NXT championship at Battleground a few months ago. But despite all that, I don't see Ethan Page. He's going to retain, and he will still be the NXT champion. So with that being said, Joe Hendry will not win the NXT championship. I got Ethan Page winning. All Ego retains his title. He's going to be the one to put Joe Hendry down. As I see, Trick Williams will be back in the title picture, but not right now. And I kind of already had a scenario where Joe Hendry said that I said Joe Hendry would challenge Ethan Page, and Ethan Page is going to win. So I'm pretty much spot on with this one as well. So that's who I have for that. And other than that, though, guys, that's all I have with NXT No Mercy early predictions. You guys let me know what you think of the predictions. Who do you have winning each particular matchup? And what other match you guys expect from NXT No Mercy coming up? Greatly, greatly appreciate it. There will soon 2 videos pop up. Check those videos below. Click the links. I appreciate you guys coming out. Let me know what you guys think of NXT. And you guys already know what it is. It is OUNT.
Something happened this weekend, and I have been struggling with it since I retired. But this weekend gave me closure.
Wow.
It really did. Like, it was fun. Obviously, it was fun. I mean, you can't, doing this for as long as I have and being involved.